fictional movie about a catastrophic natural disaster where the characters are running for their lives. The only thing visible in the storm is the Statue of Liberty's torch coming up out of a snowbank. Or saw movies where a crazy character builds a park and he sends scientists to investigate the level of security for the animals. And they end up dangling from a tree in their vehicle. Or an alien movie where the spaceships come to planet Earth and park their spaceships all over the big cities around the globe. And the aliens are trying to find ways to survive on our planet. They're plucking people out of streets, basements, and stores where your heart's pumping, your pulse rate high, and you're sitting on the edge of your seat. You find yourself yelling at the TV screen, "Don't look back! Run for your life!" Go ahead and start the video. Hello, I'm Janice Hatt. March 14th, 2018, I was plucked out of my life in an instant with pumping adrenaline, high pulse rate, and sitting on the edge of my life. I am a survivor of domestic gun violence. 2.5 weeks later, I woke up from intensive care. I was in an induced coma. I had had hallucinations, and I was delirious. I found I was paralyzed from T11 down. I had lost part of my stomach, my 12th left rib, part of my lower left lobe of my lung. A rod was added to my left tibia. I had damage to my muscles in my right scapula. I am starting my 6th year building a new life and a new body. My mission and objective remain focusing on learning how to walk again. After I was transferred to Mary Free Bed in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I was still recovering from my physical injuries. I wore a body brace and a sling for my right shoulder. My first physical training was learning how to use a transfer cord, then on how to use an electric chair. I rolled my way into physical and occupational therapy. How did this happen? I had to learn how to sit and balance, and I was learning to toss beanbag chairs while I was trying to balance. It was so hard to comprehend. I can compare it to balancing on an exercise ball, a large exercise ball, using your hands free and not even being able to put your feet on the ground. I was learning all new ways to move again. After 2.5 months, I was discharged to my new apartment to recover physically and emotionally. My task was to learn how to live independently. I was very limited in strength. I could hardly plug in an appliance. Then I realized I had a mountain of work ahead of me. My first hurdle was trying to find an outpatient physical therapy center. My medical insurance only covered 6 weeks of outpatient therapy. My local outpatient therapy providers were not able to provide me with equipment to help me walk again. There weren't any overhead tracks or any types of assistance to stand. I could have left dangling in my own tree if it hadn't been for my rehab doctor at Mary Free Bed. Dr. Ho got to know me as a positive thinker, with high drive for living and lots of perseverance. Dr. Ho referred me to Central Michigan University Physical Therapy Department in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, for when after my insurance was exhausted. The students and staff were willing to help me learn how to walk again. My first visit, I learned how to stand in a Sarah, and that was in January of 2019. It had been 9 months after my trauma since I stood or walked. I was supplied with an arm bicycle for home. I progressed in upper body strength and more early help with equipment and expertise with the CMU patient students and faculty staff. Visits came and went. I hardly missed an appointment. I went from old knee stabilizers and parallel bars to specially designed CAFOs in the tram. There were so many tears of happiness for my progress and all the new students I got to work with. Heroes save the day in fiction. In real life, we sometimes have to make our own successes. I have lived alone since my trauma. I am now independent in all of my personal care since this month. I reached my last milestone with the installation of a roll-in shower in my apartment. The apartment complex helped pay for my upgrade. I have a big circle of support from friends, my church family, and close relatives. I had a thank you celebration with my circle last fall. I was able to hire an assistant that has been dedicated to my recovery and my goals for walking. It took me 4 years to find the right person. In the last year, I have made more progress than in the last 4 years combined. Norma does my grocery shopping for me. She's my sous chef, because I love to cook. She's my wheels, and also does light housekeeping. Here's the fun part. Before my disabilities, I was very active in keeping my bones as healthy as possible. I have a family history of osteoporosis. I practiced yoga for 30 years. I did P90X, I golfed twice a week, I bicycled 25 to 40 miles a week. I helped my husband cut, split, and load firewood for our family estate. I learned that firewood heats you 5 times. I ran an outdoor garden business for 15 years. I still love the outdoors and plant horticulture. It was hard to describe how my friends and family viewed me. Being able to split wood, then after my injuries, saw me in an alien body, not being able to even lift my arms over my head. I lost my home, my husband, and my life as I knew it, and entered into an alien world. After 5 years, my apartment looks like a gym. My keyboard stands in the corner waiting for me. My exercise program now consists of bed yoga daily in order to keep my joints flexible. In my training, I have assistants in order to keep some of my exercises. In order to have the least amount of restriction, I use friction reducers to do my bed exercises. I have tone and movement in my hip flexors now. I have quick move equipment for learning to sit and stand. I purchased my own after using the college devices. I have increased my time standing, shifting my weight from left to right, arm range of motion while standing, balancing hands free, transferring weighted objects while standing. After the aerobics, I have assistance with range of motion in my legs to cool down. I spend 90 minutes 3 days a week in a specific rotation of exercises. Alternate days, I do upper body weight training and upper body range of motion. One night a week, I work with the CMU PT students with gait training and upper body strengthening. We video record every week. I want to see my progress. I use videos to be able to mentally visualize what I do to improve. I have walked as far as 750 feet in the tram. There has been a lot of pauses for the availability with the college lab and the students. This did not stop my determination to continue my strength training while away from Hands for Health. It gives me emotional strength and self-discipline to further advance my gait training in the tram. Dr. Haynes didn't give up or get discouraged due to the changes in the pro bono clinic qualifications. Student involvement has now, with their training, has moved to my apartment with the HEP. Since I have no feeling in my hips or my legs, I have learned to feel the vibrations in my chest when my heel hits the floor to initiate weight shifting forward. I use my past exercise training programs as a reference to help me collaborate with the students for suggestions on advancing and changing to help keep it exciting. This is my new version of an athlete. I have many hurdles to jump over, especially this week. I don't want to be the only one holding that torch. Did I pluck you out of your vision you have for me? With invaluable insight, vision, and knowledge from Dr. Haynes, the PT students, faculty staff, my personal assistant, other professionals, and the vast amount of equipment made available to me has made it possible for strength training and gait training. And it isn't an easy task, I have learned. My mental mantra: never take for granted your mobility. Strength training is the key. Equipment is the catalyst. Never give in, never give up. I rely on God's guiding hands. His prayer, His power has put a circle of support around me. I prayed to God to save my life in March of 2018. I must continue to praise Him for giving me the perseverance to want to walk again. I want you on the edge of your seat to see how much I have done in the past 5 years. It was not done in just a few weeks or months. Where will I be in another 2 years with my continuing new vision of my athlete? I face a Tanosaurus Rex every day. My testimonial today is to communicate how important early mobility with equipment and staff are, to give someone hope and put a little effort into making new goals and of living a full life. Thank you.